So are there biohacking techniques that can be used to support us in this
I
world
think
that's very
the
stimulating?
the blue blockers help, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like going from like drinking a beer that's like 9% alcohol down to 6% alcohol. Like it's still not good for you, but it's not going to be as stimulating or as bad for your brain. So I think if you are forced to or have to or feel like you don't want to stop, then that's a good middle ground or a way to kind of go like half caffeinated or half alcohol. It's like not as bad, but it's still not great. So what you're doing is ideal, where someone just says like, okay, at least half an hour before bed, just no screen time or minimal. Another way to do it is to not use your phone as your alarm clock. So one of my favorite biohacks that's very cheap is to get a sun alarm clock. If you don't wake up with the sunrise, can't be in a place where you can do that, where you need to like close your shades so your neighbors don't see you sleeping, whatever it is. Getting an alarm clock, just look up sun alarm clock. They're ones that slowly light up like a sunrise to wake you up, or they can play nature sounds, or you can put like your favorite cool, calm CD on, whatever it is, just waking yourself up with anything besides a phone. If you wake up with a phone, that's actually going to lower your IQ. If you sleep with your phone within arm's reach of you, it's been proven to lower your IQ long term because you're keeping that as a memory bank of storage, basically. Like I don't have to remember that. I don't have to think about it. I can just like look it up on my phone. Like, oh, what was, the thing about kava kava? What's that good for? It's like, well, if you outsource your brain to your phone, which is what most of us do, it's a little bit of like AI already in our lives. Then, and you never give yourself time away from it, your brain starts to become dependent on it as well. So sleeping with it, more than 6 feet away from you or more than 10 feet away from you will help solve that problem. So if you like plug it in, even if you do have to use your phone as an alarm clock when you're traveling, put it across the room or put it in like the bathroom near you. That can be one solution. But in your day-to-day life, it's much better to have an alarm clock that's like plugged in. Maybe you need like a spare battery so you don't have anxiety about like missing your alarm, whatever it is. But the sun alarm clocks are really nervous system regulating for people. And the early morning light like that's a lot of them are LEDs, which again is not natural per se, but it's better than fluorescence. It's going to be helpful just to have that slow light progression in the morning. If you can get outside for sunrise or real sunlight on your eyeballs, that's going to be one of the best sleep hacks too. And people don't really put two and two together that way, but the early morning sunrise or sunlight, even if you're not up for sunrise, getting half an hour or more if there's no sun and it's just cloudy, half hour or more outside first thing in the morning or close to waking up, or 5 to 10 minutes of direct sunlight hitting your eyes. Don't stare at the sun, but just like be outside when the sun's out. That will help you sleep better at night because that stimulation of the light first thing starts your circadian rhythm in the right way. So then at nighttime, your natural melatonin increases when you're in a pitch dark room.
Beautiful. Yeah. That it makes me think of how we've kind of been told to fear the sun as well.
So bad. Such a pet peeve.
Put on sunscreen,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's another like what's a red pill for people, or what's another thing that everyone does, and it's sunscreen. Is if you're super pale skin and like ginger or very have damaged skin, then that's not ideal. You might do well with sunscreen, but for most everybody, sunscreen is pretty toxic, and most of the brands have been pulled off the market at least once, if not more than once, for containing carcinogens. So when people are saying that the sun causes cancer, it's more of like the fear of the sun is causing cancer, because the fear of it makes people put carcinogens on their skin, which gives them skin cancer. Most skin cancers happen where the sun doesn't shine. If you were to actually eat an anti-inflammatory healthy diet, you would get more than enough carotenoids and vitamin A, you get antioxidants and vitamin C, E, zinc, selenium that prevent your skin from burning. And most people also get the sunburns when they're having tons of alcohol, not a lot of water. And so their skin's not very hydrated and it's very inflamed. And then they go out in the sun and have sun damage. And that, when you're in an inflamed state without a lot of antioxidant status, that can create skin cancer as well. Something as simple as taking 12 milligrams of astaxanthin every day can drastically reduce your rate of getting any type of sunburn or skin cancer. It's also good for your eyes and a lot of other things. But astaxanthin, I'll use a company, BioAstin, has a Hawaiian 12 milligram version that's pretty cheap. And a lot of my patients will start taking one a day of that, kind of like you would take fish oil, but think of it as like an antioxidant for prevention of sunburn. But if you take one a day about 2 weeks before you start sun tanning, you'll find your skin bronzes a lot better, and it's much less likely to burn and won't burn as fast too.
Okay. With those sun alarm clocks,